Alright, welcome back. Today, I'm gonna try and finish all the side stories. Alright, we have 2 more left. Last time we got these wonderful images. So it's great. Alright, and I don't think I got any other mail. Yeah, so there's also files. But I don't know if these have much to do with it. Huh? That's, great. And... What? What was that? Huh? Is this not a text file? Did I need some really arbitrary program? Well, okay, I'm not here for secret hunting or lore building or whatever, but that's interesting. I'll probably look into it later. This is scratch disks. Do not store sensitive or permanent things. If you need access to files from an encrypted file share, copy them to I still can't read. The effects of yesterday have carried on. Your disposable drive and plug it directly into the thin client. Do not copy them here. Ria is working on setting up a proxy mail server so we can have proper remote communication without having to worry about the higher-ups. Keep everything offline until then. Paula. Yeah, I have no idea why, or what's happening with that. But, like, I guess we're part of this metaverse enterprise solutions things. But anyway, yeah, we got reflection and self-love. And yeah, let's go. I hope the audio synced. I tried to fix it, but I don't know. Yo, am I bothering you? No. Okay, just checking. It's hard to tell since you always look so into it when you're reading. It makes me scared to interrupt. Well, it's within my expectations to be interrupted when I read here. It's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it. Wait. Oh. Okay, it was too loud for a second? I don't know. Let's see. I think this is fine. That makes sense. I guess if you're here in the first place, then you're more ready to socialize, even if it takes a little bit of prodding. It's not so bad to be social if I let others do the work, so it can be healthy to put myself in a social environment every now and then. It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone, or there are too many people, or everyone is being too silly for me to keep up with. Yuri glances across the room to Sayori and Natsuki. Sayori has her head cocked back and her mouth open, trying to catch the pieces of the cookie that Natsuki is lobbing in the air, where the pieces keep bouncing off her face and hitting the floor. What is happening over there? Maybe I should say something. No need. They just ran out of cookie. What a waste. They've really become good friends, haven't they? I'm happy. Sayori seems particularly good at making that happen. But the two of them are both on the energetic side, so I suppose it works out as well. Yeah, kind of think of it, you and I haven't had many chances to talk one-on-one, have we? Though that may be partially my fault, since I'm supposed to be the one engaging the club members. Not at all. I've probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself. The responsibility is equally on me, at least to display some openness to engage. Well, what about during times like lunch? Do you meet up with friends? No. I just read. Oh. But I like it that way. It feels nice to be carried off again after morning classes. Do you always read fantasy? Not always. I suppose it's all I've read recently, but only because I'm in the middle of the series. There's still 2 more books after this one. I guess those books suit you well, since you spend so much time reading. Well, fantasy may be my favorite, but after that, I'm more or less indiscriminate to genres. I'll read anything with depth and maturity. So, in your opinion, not manga? I'm interested to see what the Natsuki and Yuri side story has. Oh yeah? Even like romance? Well, there are a lot of books that have elements of romance in them. But come on, Yuri, you know what I mean. Monica lowers her voice. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, so I won't tell anyone if you do too. Maybe more when I was in middle school. I mean, I was really lonely. People were mean to me a lot. So it kind of felt like, please don't make me think of that past. Sorry, I just got super curious. You know, you should totally pick out a romance novel to read. That would be so much fun. Is that seriously where this is going? Absolutely not. Really? Even if it was just between us? Try asking someone who has no shit. Oh, gosh. Whoa. You just destroyed her. Holy. Like Natsuki. Ouch. Sorry, I swear I didn't mean that. Oh my gosh. Dude. Natsuki heard that. Oh my gosh. She's crying. That was intense. Well, I guess it was my fault for pressing you. I'm like that for things in my past too. You know, things I feel too embarrassed to re-experience. There's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. For instance, Natsuki's interest in manga reminds me quite a bit of how intense I used to be about my own interests. It makes me think she'll likely grow out of it too. Hey, were you talking about me? No, we were just talking about how our interests have changed over the years. When did you get into manga, Natsuki? Well, like a couple years ago, I guess. I was already sort of into it by that, but I wasn't really going hard until then. Oh yeah? What was it that inspired you to get more into it? I don't know. I guess, let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I really liked. Yeah, I was just really fed up with a lot of things and got super into this one series that I really related to. I guess I had an edgy phase where I just hated everyone around me and wanted to be by myself. Heh. Heh. Hey, kind of like Yuri. Yep. Monica. Sorry. It's completely wrong, so it's so cool that you both really found your thing. They're almost like opposites, but it sounds like they helped you through a lot of hard times. You know it. Wow, what the heck? Is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading? It's technically slightly longer, but not by very much. How high do you think it would go if you stacked up the whole series? Natsuki estimates by holding her hand high above her head, sizing up an imaginary stack. I should get one of those mangas that's like 50 volumes long, so I can say I read more than you. Not that I have the money for that. Please, that would hardly count when your books only have a few words per page. Dude, this is the Monica and Yuri route, not Natsuki and Yuri route. I know, it's just joking. I could never actually read books like yours. It's too boring for me. Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki. Oh, dude, there's like so much going on here. It's not boring. She just said it was boring. Yuri. Chill, I said for me, not for you. See? Like, why is Natsuki being so sensible in this, in the side stories? I don't see, she wasn't even that bad in the game. But like, she's being very mature. I can have my own opinion. I just think it's too convoluted. Yuri, are those from the floor? Oh no. Gross. Also, wash your hands before touching any of my books. My hands aren't dirty. Just do it. The oils are there, even if you can't see them. Fine. Yuri trots out the door and Natsuki follows. Yuri, you look a little upset. What kind of nerve does she have to call my hobby boring? Oh, she did correct herself. Hardly, she was so condescending. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I already understand that it's not for everyone. But she knows well how much these mean to me, so how about just leaving me alone instead of needlessly telling things that you hate about it? I'm sorry, Yuri. You may be right. Just don't be like last time when people have strong feelings about things they don't like. They like and don't like. This won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like. Especially in the literature club. So I should figure out how to mediate these discussions to keep them positive and constructive. For the record, I've always been impressed by the level of creativity in your books, and also your ability to get through them so quickly. Thank you. Okay, well, this is something I'll have to think about and revisit. I'm sure I can help Natsuki find some common ground with you. Common ground isn't necessary. I just wish to be respected. That, then. Either way, I'll do my best. I need the water. I need to go grab the water. Here, it's like... Alright, it's the answer to every problem. Whenever you feel in peril, just drink water. I drank like the tiniest sip of it, but I don't care. I did it. I'm sick. Okay, I still need more. I'm skeptical when it comes to Natsuki. I trust you, Monica, but I'm skeptical. Okay, everyone. Whoa. This music's cool. We have a special club meeting today. As you know, the Literature Club is a place where we get to share things that we're really passionate about. But it also means we should be mindful of how to respond to each other's feelings. I think we have a chance to turn our differences into positive energy for each other. Aren't you being a little dramatic about this? This is important to me. Well, sorry, I just feel like I'm being accused or something. No, I'm not accusing anyone or anything. I'm sorry if I came off that way. But our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the power of language, and I think it would be a good topic for the Literature Club, don't you think? I'm sure we're going to have differences in opinion a lot, so I need to make sure we're prepared to keep a positive atmosphere in the club. If you say so. Sure. The cool thing about language is that it gives us a lot of different ways to express the same idea or emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when receiving our thought. This goes for poetry, narratives, casual conversation, basically anything. For example, Siri, what's your favorite food? I haven't organized my category. Should I start with snacks and do full meals? Should I include breakfast? Oh jeez. Okay, how about your favorite fruit? That's easy, cherries. Really? I always thought cherries tasted nasty. What? Monica, what the heck? What? Cherries are delicious. Well, that's a pretty strong reaction. I just don't understand how somebody can think cherries are nasty. How does it make you feel? I don't know, sad? Defensive maybe? Yeah, I got defensive. See, the reason you had such a strong reaction wasn't just because I don't like cherries, it's because you felt your opinion was under attack. Oh, she was saying, because, I beat the game like only once, because I was skipping through it, I was skipping through it like just yesterday, and she gave like constructive criticism on how to do debates right without hurting people's feelings, and that was actually really interesting. Like, that was her debate tip of the day, and that was interesting. That was really good. So that's weird, right? Something like taste is completely subjective. When I say something like, I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language. I'm challenging Sierra's reality that cherries are delicious with my own, which is that cherries are nasty. Wait, hold on. How is that objective when you only said it was only your opinion? It has to do with the way our brains interpret words. I'm talking about the reality of cherries, not your feelings about them. Like Sayori, let's rewind for a second and pretend I didn't tell you that I think cherries are nasty. Good. So what if instead I said, like, I've tried cherries and they're not for me. There's not the kind of flavor I enjoy. Well, yeah, that's like, I guess a very careful way of stepping around it. Well, that's fine. As long as you don't call him Nancy. Nasty is a nasty word. Okay, so cherries were the kind of weird example, but I think it gets the point across. This time around, instead of talking about cherries, I just talked about my feelings, and Sayori didn't get defensive. So instead of clashing with each other, it's like we received an invitation to talk about our differences. Yuri, you don't need to take notes. I'm not gonna quiz you or something. I know that. I was just, sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. You can do whatever you like. Does anyone have any thoughts so far? Yeah, I just feel like I should pull out my language through a filter just to protect someone's feelings. Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours on how you want to come across to other people. I'm only suggesting it as a tool to turn your differences into a positive experience, rather than an argument. Right, Sayori? Very sage, cherry hater. Come on. Sayori, I actually like cherries, yeah. Like, who could hate cherries? I don't get it. I was just saying that to help demonstrate. What the heck? I've been duped. I'm sorry, Sayori. I'll make it up to you later. How about a cherry sundae? You're welcome to dupe me anytime, my beloved president. Buying your people's loyalty. How deplorable. Oh, like you would turn down a free sundae, Yuri. You were certainly a fan of those cupcakes that brought me the other week. And that was, I was reading and not keeping track of them. Well, that's enough. We're getting off topic. So now we have the gist of it, how about we try something more relevant to the club? Yep, Monica's getting really good at doing the club stuff right now. Like manga, right? Let's try to have a productive discussion about our differences in opinion. Yuri, do you want to start? Well, I'd rather not, no. How come? Well, because I don't see how anything productive can come from that. It's just going to start a fight. No, it'll be fine. That's why I'm here to moderate. Let's just have a calm and rational discussion. It's gonna turn into absolute chaos. Alright. And she's gonna punch Yuri or something. She's gonna poison the next cupcakes. I don't know. Yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child. You don't have to coddle my feelings. I always think it's more respectable to just speak your mind. Respectable? Yuri's expression changes at that word. As long as I recall, being respected was the crux of the matter for Yuri. Well, the point of this exercise isn't exactly like... It's fine. I have nothing against anyone personally. You're entitled to enjoy whatever it is you like. I just prefer more depth and nuance in my reading material. I look for stories that are imaginative and sophisticated beyond the surface level. Oh, that's just a misunderstanding then. I thought you were gonna say, like, manga's for children or something. Like, I don't hear enough of that. There's plenty of deep manga. I'm not clueless about manga. I read my own fair share when I was younger. What, are you serious? How have you never told me? Because I'm past that point in my life, and I really prefer not to revisit it. I prefer more mature things now. You were handling well, but I don't know. Not perfectly. Excuse me? Okay, hold on. Can I jump in here? I try to keep things subjective. Because if you imply that manga is immature, then aren't you implying that someone is immature for being into it? Well, maybe it's immature to judge people for having different tastes than you. Atsugi, nobody's immature. I've read Atsugi's manga and Yuri's fantasy, and I love them both in their own way. Okay. It's great that you like it, but I still find it boring. Boring is subjective. Okay, it bores me. That's subjective. But, the thing about... This is ridiculous. You see why I didn't want to participate in this? I knew it was just going to make people upset. I'm not upset. Like I said, I don't care what other people think. But I always got the impression that you secretly looked down on me, so I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed. That's not true at all. You're making assumptions. You can't blame me for getting defensive when nobody ever has the least bit of respect for the things I'm into. The only thing I look down upon is when other people make fun of me, just for being myself and trying to mind my own business. What, have you looked in the mirror? Tell me again about respect after calling out all my interests in immature. You can't. Please stop. Please. You don't mean the things you're saying now. Let's just be friends. I didn't mean for this to happen. Well, it did. So please don't invite yourself to try and solve other people's problems next time, okay? Yuri's piercing words send the clubroom into a choked silence as she gathers her things. She leaves. Holy. I never heard her sound like that before. She must be so ticked. Well, you weren't very nice either, so... I was just saying. How did this happen? It's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I should have tried to moderate the conflict, but I know how bad I am with dealing with conflicts. It was a really stupid thing for me to do. It's nobody's fault, and it wasn't stupid. Everyone in the club is a nice person. Nobody would have expected this. But I guess we're sensitive about the things we really love. Honestly, she kind of brought it upon herself. Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you actually look down on other people for it, that's kind of the point I was trying to make in the first place. It's not about sugarcoating things. It's just about recognizing and understanding our differences. Okay, but here's the thing about that. Yuri actually looks down on me. It has nothing to do with her word choice or anything like that. I mean, yeah, she's pretty tall. So I see what you were trying to do, but I think the problem here is her, not just the way we talk to each other, right? I mean, Yuri isn't like that. She's a lot sweeter than you're giving her credit for. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. I actually think everyone should. It'll be fine. I'll figure something out. Wow, I'm just saying that instinctively. I'm just setting myself up to cause more problems. This isn't your fault, Monica. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. If you ask me, it's good the truth finally came out. Because I can just move on now. But, it's fine. I promise. Let's just get this off our mind, okay? In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeding Yuri's superiority complex. Don't be mean. I'll talk or read manga or whatever you want, but you can't be mean to my friends, okay? Sorry. I'm just bitter. Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have answers, but at least I know we're all good people that don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience. Monica says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force that reassuring tone in her voice. That was bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri have always engaged with each other the least out of everyone, and this is the reason. As Yuri and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with Monica, manga, Monica sighs to herself, unable to shake her worried thoughts. Will the club really have to come to terms with the fact that some members will be compatible for each other? Monica desperately doesn't want to admit that, and she knows Sayori doesn't either. But for once, a solution doesn't seem to be in sight. Yep, alright, cut off there. Oh, you got mail. Let's see. Paulo Minor. Paulo's the one that... Okay. This is interesting. Staying focused on our goals. Okay. As a reminder to help guide our data collection, analysis performed should be focused on answering some of the I didn't mean to do that. Main questions. How does granting elevated access to the VM affect a person's emotional state? How does granting elevated access to the VM affect a person's values and goals? How does someone effectively navigate and experiment with their ability to change the contents of the VM? I'm guessing the test subject is Monica. How is elevated access being weaponized? What actions and values most contribute to the destruction of the universe? Most importantly, how might your observations apply to our own universe? Bonus, how can we present this to upper management as an operation that benefits the company? Unrelated note, whoever changed the color scheme of the desktop to pink, can you please change it back? It's unprofessional and it runs the risk of drawing eyes. Well, what if it was Monica? I don't know. Okay. And then new music, and I can't tell. Okay. Anyway, let's go to reflection part 2. This is, yeah, I wasn't expecting, like, I thought it would be more with Monica and Yuri, but, you know, other people exist, and there's other conflicts, and I do want to see how the Natsuki and Yuri thing goes. A new day arrives. Sayori arrives at the club room earlier than usual, that is, not late. Okay, and as she enters, it appears to be empty still. So she sits down at a desk and pulls out a sheet of paper, primed to jot down her thoughts. Sayori has made a habit of scribbling her thoughts and feelings into paper whenever possible, as it tends to serve as her best inspiration for poetry. My heart feels vacant because the ship sailed away. Yo. Yeah! Itsuki? Itsuki pokes her head out from behind the closet door. She was hiding. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. But it would have been a lot more awkward if I didn't say anything. I doubt you want me listening in on your poetry thing. Yeah, thanks for realizing that. Should I let you finish that up then? Oh no, I just do whatever's convenient. You're not interrupting. Where's Monica, by the way? Oh, she's out in the hallway. Oh, why? Well, just in case she runs into Yuri. Sometimes Yuri is too nervous to come into the club room herself, so... Oh. Jeez. Does Yuri really let things bother her for that long? She can't control her feelings. For some people, it's really hard to cope when you get a bad thought in your head. Maybe you can distract yourself from it in a little while, but as soon as it's just you and your thoughts again, it comes back. I just want us to have a normal club meeting. It's a lot easier to pretend like it never happened if we all just ignore it and move on. I don't want to be bothered by this. It's so stupid. Her opinion of me doesn't matter anyway. Besides, it's making me feel really guilty, and I hate that too. It's okay to have feelings. It doesn't make you weak. Let's review this out together. Fine. Only because you're good at this stuff. Let's try to come up with a happy scene. Maybe that will help us understand where your bad feelings are coming from. Well, I was happy with the way things were before we had that conversation yesterday. Okay. What part of the conversation made you upset? Was it Yuri being mean about manga? Maybe. I doubt it though. It's because my friends and other people make fun of manga all the time, or I just brush it off and ignore them. But something about it really got me this time, and I hate that I'm letting that happen. Is it because it came from Yuri? No, why would that matter? I mean, well maybe. I hate that she thinks she's so much better than me just because she likes to pretend to be all sophisticated. Yeah, that's what it is. At least other people decide that they don't like me, or manga or whatever. But Yuri acts like she's too good to even give it a chance. I'm sorry. Everyone deserves a chance. Yeah, exactly. Did you give Yuri's books a chance? After this? Obviously not. What about before this? Well, I would until I got bored, which wouldn't take very long. But if you actually keep an open mind, it's not hard to realize that a story can be deep and meaningful without being needlessly complicated. I see. But you know, I like Yuri's books. Yeah, but you like manga more, right? Sayori shakes her head. I like them both. I like them in different ways, but I like them both. I mean, manga is really honest and fun and easy to let go with. The fantasy has a lot to interpret and uncover, and it's really rewarding when it has some good quiet time together with it. But the most important thing is that, well, both of them, that both manga and fantasy are true to themselves, so I love them both. And I think there's room for both of them to be in the same club together. And I feel like maybe they have more in common than you would think. You know, it has I don't know what you know what is in common with the game? How it shouldn't have water splashed in it, and how I shouldn't be drinking water right now, because there's not much of it left. Yeah. Computer shouldn't drink water, and neither should I right now. It's really hot. Probably because I'm wearing a sweater. Okay. How do you get along with everyone so well? I always get into fights with people. Like, first it was with Monica when I was new to the club, and then it was with you, and now it's Yuri. And I'm always like, oh, that person's being such a jerk, and if they just realize that, then we could at least get along. But nobody else has this problem. I just keep running away from the reality that everybody's just a jerk up to me because nobody likes me. And I don't know why, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate it. Natsuki. Sayori puts a comforting hand on Natsuki's shoulder. You're a wonderful person. You deserve to be loved as much as everyone else. Everyone has different ways they like to communicate, you know? And sometimes that makes it harder for us to understand each other. I think that sometimes we get lucky and we make friends who are really good at the same kinds of communication. It makes you feel like you magically connect with them. But other times, even if both people are really nice, it's easy for them to misunderstand each other or get communication wrong. It's something that Yuri struggles a lot with too. It can be really hard. It takes a lot of, reflection and self-awareness. Vulnerability. I'm bad at that one. Vulnerability. I always have to be the strongest. What do you mean? Tell me more about that part of you. Well, it sounds stupid, but I'm really used to people being mean to me. Like my friends, and I guess my dad when I don't get good grades, or even stupid things like if my room isn't clean. So what am I gonna do? Cry about it? If I let myself get upset, then it's just letting them win. I'm better than that. I'm better than all of them. So, things always have to be everyone else's fault. It feels like if something goes wrong and there's even a tiny hint that it might be my fault, then I just get really angry, and I find ways to blame everything else instead. Do you see yourself as better than Yuri? If I said that, I would just sound really full of myself. No. Our thoughts and our feelings are two different things. Even if we don't like our feelings, we have to understand that to learn more about themselves. That's a part of vulnerability, you know? Accepting the feelings that we don't like. I hate that. My feelings make me a bad person. Because my feelings just want to tell me that I'm so much better than her. Like she's judgmental, know-it-all, who's stuck in her edgy phase, and that I'm just way above that garbage. But I'm terrible for feeling that way. You're not terrible. You are not your feelings. But you are not your feelings. Say it to yourself. Out loud. Fine. I am not my feelings. The way I like to picture it is that those feelings are like your roommate. You live in the same house together and you gotta see each other every day. And even if you can ignore each other most of the time, you're gonna run into each other every now and then. And it's gonna make you feel all like poop. So, the other option is to get to know each other. You can communicate and learn from each other, and then even help each other change for the better. Does that help you understand? How do you know so much about this stuff? I just have a roommate that can be really hard to get along with. Called depression. She just said it. Depression? But you're like the happiest person I know. I am not my feelings. I want to be a good person like you. Aw, you little sweetheart. We're all good people. You, and Yuri, and Monica. And I think Yuri will eventually learn that about you. Natsuki remains silent, feeling a little overwhelmed. Despite Sayori's kind reassurance, a complicated mixture of pain and sadness seems to fill her, as though flowing from a wound inside her. Was it a result of her vulnerability? No. Oh. It wasn't as though she inflicted a wound after becoming vulnerable. It was as though she began to rediscover an old wound, one that simply cannot be bandaged and left alone any longer. And here are Yuri and Monica. Uh-oh, wait, is she, knife? Uh-oh. Yuri, what are you doing all the way over here? I was looking for you. Please don't yell at me. Oh, I'm not gonna yell at you. I just wanted to say I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. It wasn't fair of me to put everyone on the spot like that. Next time, I won't just try to jump in and solve everyone's problems. I guess it's a bad habit of mine. You're not mad at me? I thought you were the one mad at me. I was so awful yesterday. Yuri curls up, recalling the details of the argument. I can't even have a normal conversation without saying something wrong and making everyone upset. Hold on, that's not what happened at all. Let's talk about this, okay? Yuri pauses for a second, then manages a nod. Monica takes a seat next to her on the staircase. I'm having a lot of negative thought patterns, and I can't get away from them. What kind of negative thought patterns? Like everyone hates me. Especially Natsuki. Oh, that's terrible. I don't think Natsuki hates you. How do you know? Well, because Monica thinks back on her time. Monica thinks back to the time that she found herself in an altercation with Natsuki, and how a display of maturity from Monica was enough for Natsuki to reevaluate her own feelings as well. I think Natsuki is just naturally defensive. Okay, so then I feel like I just got pricked in the foot. Okay, that wasn't nice. I think she acts mean when she feels like she needs to protect herself. But you know, she's really not a bad person. In fact, I think she can be really thoughtful and considerate. She's just, well, I guess the way it works is that she wants to receive some degree of kindness before she feels comfortable returning it. Oh, well that means the burden's on me. And I don't know how to say things that make people like me. Every time I open my mouth, it just... Yuri shakes her head at herself and tugs at her hair. It's okay, Yuri. You don't need to beat yourself up. I think anyone would like you if they had a chance to get to know you. Well, unfortunately, the opposite is true. That's why I'm not talkative anymore in the first place. Because everyone used to think I was weird, talk about me behind my back. That's just what happens when I draw attention to myself. Natsuki even said she found it more respectable when people speak their mind. So I did, and she hated me anyway. That was enough to confirm my fears. But Sayori and I like you, and we've gotten to know you a lot by now, right? Yuri doesn't seem to have a response. Hey, what do you think of Natsuki? I don't think about her. That's not what I meant, really. I was wondering if you had an opinion of her. I do. What is it? Natsuki seems to bring out the worst in me, and I feel really ashamed of it. I like to think of myself as a fairly sophisticated person. So for someone to just treat me like I'm inferior, despite my tastes, that's just the worst kind of insult coming from someone like her. And it makes me think bad things about her. But everyone seems to like her, so the only explanation is that it's me who's doing something wrong again. And my feelings about her are wrong. And I'm just wrong to get upset over something so childish and inconsequential. Now, Yuri, feelings are never wrong. Well, they're not right. That's the thing. Feelings are never right or wrong, you know? There is a state of being that we don't have control over. That doesn't mean they have to control us. I feel like that's something I've learned when I first started the club. We can hate ourselves for feeling a certain way about things, or we can just acknowledge that they exist and try to understand them better. I can never be mad at you for just feeling a certain way. It's about how you handle them. And I think working through feelings is a great opportunity for teamwork. Yuri wears a dejected expression. You make it sound so easy. You're so mature. So good with people. I feel like such a child in comparison. Oh, Yuri? I'm far from perfect. But these are learned skills. They didn't come to me naturally either. It's really hard to reflect on yourself and separate your feelings from your thoughts. I just want to be a good person. Well, I think it takes a good person to get this far. That's not good enough. I want to be able to communicate with her. Communicate what? How I feel. How it makes me feel frustrated and upset when she's so negative and dismissive of things that mean so much to me. And how it reminds me of me. And I haven't gone through my edgy phase, and since it's so discouraged by people, I don't know if I ever will. But this is just an interesting concept, I guess. Trying to share your opinions without hurting someone, but I don't know, because it feels like, because I know what because I know what it's like to feel misunderstood and angry at everyone. I know that telling yourself you're better than everyone else is just a defense mechanism. We're just people. We're fragile and unstable. But I'm just tired of getting in the way. Getting in the way. I can't stand it when the piece is disturbed like this. Yeah, you can't focus on your reading when the piece is disturbed, right? Because the literature club should be happy for everyone. Monica looks at Yuri in adoration. I feel like Sayori must be rubbing off on me, because I really want to hug you right now. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. No, I mean, well, if you wanted to, then I wouldn't really mind, so. Monica pulls Yuri into a short embrace. You're so gentle. I love when you communicate your feelings. I feel lucky to get to see that side of you. I'm sure Natsuki will too. I'm going to write her a letter. Oh, a letter? What a great idea. Just because I'm not good at talking, especially under pressure. I always let my feelings get the best of me, and I forget to say all the important things, and say things I don't mean. Well, I think a letter would be helpful. Such a nice way to communicate. Yuri's face hardens with determination. People don't naturally gravitate towards me like they do for you and Sayori. My personality just isn't suited for that, and I wouldn't want it to be. Something I learned is that friendships don't always just magically appear out of thin air. For instance, I never would have seen myself making friends with someone like Sayori. We're opposite in a lot of ways, but I'm friends with her because she puts so much effort into understanding me so we can get along. I think it was the same with you. You both gave me a lot of time and patience, and I wonder if she feels the same way. Natsuki? Yuri nods. I always thought that if I wanted to make more friends, I had to be somebody that I'm not. Okay, wait, I don't think I skipped anything. That there's a type of person or a magical formula that I have to follow in order to make someone like me. And that's just like me to think of that. Always so occupied with myself that I fail to understand other people. Yuri shakes her head. Friendship happens when you think about the other person, when you offer time and effort to understand them, and respect them, and trust that they always want to be a good person. That's what I've learned through my observations in the literature club. Observations? Monica is caught by surprise. Yuri's always kept to herself so much that it's unusual to hear her suddenly talking about the club like this. But Yuri gently smiles to herself. You always let me listen to your thoughts about people. Okay. Sayori too. And it makes me feel happy because I learn a lot of things. That's so sweet. I had no idea it meant that much to you. Monica never thought of it, but in the past weeks, Yuri seemed to be especially attentive when it came to problems and the concerns of others. That is true. Whenever someone was dying, they'd run into Yuri in the hall or something, and she'd be like, yo. and they'd talk about problems. Always wanting to listen and learn more about her friends in the club. It's true, Sayori and Monica are naturally more comfortable with other people and can more easily work through the situations of conflict, but that doesn't make them better people. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses and the capacity to improve. And the first step towards improving oneself is reflection and awareness. It's something that Yuri never gave herself enough credit for, but that Monica can recognize as an incredible trait. And with that, her confidence in the club is restored. Okay, for a second I was scared, like, what, did it just end? Oh no. A very shy girl with long, pretty hair is wandering in the bustling lunchtime hallways, her fist pressed into her collarbone. When she finds herself in the Literature Club President's classroom, she stands at the door, glancing all around her before peering inside. Monica is sitting and chatting with a group of unknown friends. Yeah, as expected. This was a bad idea after all. But Yuri's the protagonist now. Suddenly, Monica glances towards the door, making the girl panic and duck out of sight. Or she can regain composure and decide for sure to leave. The classroom door gently opens. Yuri, I'm surprised to see you during lunch. Yuri squeaks a response. Please help me. What, is everything okay? Yuri shakes her hand. I don't know how to write letters. Thank goodness, I thought it was some kind of emergency. Monica briefly glances over her shoulder at her other friends. Want some help? We can find an empty classroom or something. Is that okay? I feel bad for taking away from you from your friends. It's totally fine, I promise. You aren't really doing anything. 1 sec. Monica trots back to her classroom, says something like, I gotta go, to her friends, and grabs her pen off the desk before returning to Yuri. Okay, let's find somewhere quiet. Yep! Okay, I don't know what's happening to me. Yuri nods and follows Monica and as the two of them set off. How are you today? Me? Well, yes. Oh gosh, sorry, I was just caught off guard. I'm doing well today, just tired. I never seem to get enough sleep during the week. How come? Well, I don't know. I think I'm just easily distracted. I get really sucked into things and start neglecting the time. Me too, I do that too. Hey, this classroom is empty. Let's go in here. Yours being strange, I don't know. After peering inside, Monica opens the classroom door and the two of them enter. Yuri's moment of realization ends. She watches as Monica pulls up 2 chairs to the same desk and then obeys as Monica beckons her to take a seat. She stares down at that empty desk. You nervous? I don't want to do this. We don't have to. We can come up with something else. Ray shakes her head. It's my chance to do something good. I need to take initiative. Gosh, you must be really determined. I know how hard it is to step out of your comfort zone. I'll be sure to encourage you. Yuri pushes through her anxiety and grabs a handful of lined paper and notebook from her notebook. Then she picks up her pen. Yo, this is nice. This is a really nice CD. Hey, left-handed. That's neat. Yeah. Now we don't have to worry about bumping into your arm. Monica playfully rubs her shoulder against Yuri's. Sorry, I guess I'm just being silly. Anyway, how about we start off by listening to different things you want to say to her? Yuri thinks. I feel embarrassed all of a sudden. It's okay. That was some of the things he said to me yesterday. But, never mind. I guess I'll try. Yuri thinks for a moment longer, her tension evident. Then she writes the word reflection. This is about my reflection on our behavior. The key question is why we act like this towards each other, but have been able to separately be friends with Sayori and Monica. That's me! Yes, it is. So, Yuri thinks, I I've been able to befriend the two of you because you've taken the time to understand my needs and respect my interests. Same goes for Natsuki too. The same goes for Natsuki too. We started off as pretty hostile to each other because I was so worried about getting what I wanted, but she just wanted to be respected more than anything else. Once I stopped making it all about me, she was able to do the same. I do want that too. So what kind of things do you want to do? So what kind of things do you want to do for her? I want to do the same things for her that I'd like to receive. I like it when people respond positively to things I talk about, not just brush me off. I like when my feelings are taken seriously. And I like when you and Sayori trust that I want to be a good person, even when I'm not doing a good job at it. Let's write those things down. Okay. Sayori writes some things down. I think the most important thing to remember here is that Natsuki is feeling vulnerable, so we should make sure that the letter puts her first. Great. I hope I get to see the letter. It's hard when you're feeling hurt, but it never helps to just tell someone all the things they're doing wrong. I think first you have to make sure you're ready to respect them and listen to them, and admit the things that you feel you could do better. And finally, you ask what you would like in return. How does that sound for structure? It could be 3 paragraphs, 1 for each of those points. I like that. My thoughts were so disorganized, I had no idea how to come up with any kind of structure. You're so amazing at these things. Oh, stop. You've done so much more than I have, you know? Spent so much time reflecting and being open-minded. That's the hardest thing for anyone to do. All I'm doing is helping you put it on a piece of paper. So I think you're the amazing one. Monica gives Yuri's hand a quick squeeze. But as she lets go, she's caught by surprise when Yuri curls her fingers to hook Monica's hand in place. For a while they sit like that in silence, save for the occasional scratching of Yuri's pen against the paper. Yesterday you told me something that I'm thinking about a lot. What was that? Thinking about how feelings aren't right or wrong, or just a state of being that we need to come to terms with. Also, I didn't say this before, but I'm kind of glad that Monica and Sayori, they didn't both just say the thing that you're not your feelings or something. Like, they didn't say the exact same thing. They had their own way of handling it, and both of their ways are good for handling it. And if Sayori, if Sayori were to talk to both of them, they could probably resolve it. But it's still gonna work out like this. And this is really nice. To think about how our feelings aren't right or wrong, and they're just a state of being that we need to come to terms with. It made me think about how a person's behavior isn't always just how they decide to be. It's also made up of that person's past experiences and their insecurities. I think that helps me see other people as actual people rather than insignificant side characters who are out to get me somehow. What? Is that how you feel about Natsuki? Insignificant side character. Wow. Yuri nods. But in reality, everyone is always trying their best, and everyone wants to be happy. Monica peers over at Yuri's paper, but to her surprise, Yuri pulls it in closer, partially covering it with her arm. I have to be able to read it out to help you out. Wait, I have to be able to read it to help you out, you know? It's okay. My thoughts are more organized now, after being able to talk to you about it. Now that I'm actually putting it on paper, I realize I prefer others not to read it. Yuri laughs softly to herself, a rare expression. I'm kind of glad to hear that, actually. I somehow keep finding ways to butt into this whole thing. I've done enough damage. But it's also been wonderful talking about this. I mean, I always thought you were really smart, but... Yuri smiles. I will always be terrible at these things. People are just so incomprehensible to me. I'll never get the hang of being one. But but listening to you has really helped me make sense of some things. My face is itchy. Okay, so please don't call it damage. Please. No, I just have to put it, you know, it doesn't matter. Monica gives Yuri a gentle smile. I can't believe I came to this club looking for fantasy geeks, and all I got was real friends who value me. Is that a joke? Of course it is. I still can't tell with you. Sorry. No, I love it. Please never change. As you wish. Dude, this CG is really good though. Yuri glances at the clock. We're almost out of time. Will you be able to finish? Before the end of the day, probably. But I don't want to come to the club the same day that Natsuki reads it. I'm too shy. So I'm guessing maybe, since like this is the little Monica Yuri moment, that in the other one, they'll solve everything. I'm too shy. I can give it to her instead if you like. Yuri nods. As long as you promise not to read it. Of course, I promise. Thank you. Yuri exhales and the two stand up. I'll message you when it's ready. Monica nods. Good luck, I'm here if you need me. Yuri returns a nod and the two depart. Yo. Oh my gosh. Almost an hour in already? Okay. Well, we're gonna go right to self-love. Wait. Never mind. Sorry. We got pictures to look at. Let's see. We got Yuri dropping a bunch of papers. No, it just... I don't know what happened to you, Yuri. And we got... Yeah, we got this one. Yeah, I think the fandom's gonna freak out over some of these images. We got more concept sketches. And that new drink machine background. Oh, and they provide like they provide stuff about it. Okay. Yeah, let's go to self-love, I believe. Yeah. And I'm interested to see how this turns out. It's only been one day since Yuri's letter was delivered to Natsuki with Monika's help. Because Yuri chose not to attend club meeting that day, she and Natsuki haven't faced each other since. Although it's only lunchtime, Yuri finds herself anxiously counting the hours that she will need to face the outcome of her efforts, whether good or bad. Okay. And because the passing by of students was making her feel more anxious, Yuri picked out the most secluded spot she could find to spend her lunch. Because the staircase is under maintenance, no student would have any reason for coming here, except for the drinks. It's such a relaxing feeling to have a moment of solitude in the middle of a frantic school day. Yeah, I was expecting somehow, Natsuki would come here. What are you doing here? I just... Yuri grips her book with enough force to wrinkle the pages beneath the pressure of her thumbs. Well, what are you doing here? I just came here to get a drink from the vending machine. I know, like, I'm sorry. Yuri, your strategy is not foolproof. The other one is out of the drink I like. Yuri noticed Natsuki fidgeting with a few coins between her fingers. She nods, avoiding eye contact. Natsuki also looks away, shuffling over to the vending machine. It's so quiet that every one of her movements seemed to reverberate through the entire stairwell. After far too long, she receives the beverage, which she then fidgets with in the place of the coins. It's some kind of iced tea. But instead of leaving right away, Natsuki just stands in place. She glances all around her. It's like way too quiet back here. It's creepy. I mean, that's not what I meant, really. I mean, it's totally cool that it's your thing, or whatever, like, I can see how it suits you, so, not because I think you're creepy or something, I didn't mean that either. You know, I'm just gonna stop talking, that seems like a good idea. It's okay. Everything is okay. Yuri finds herself attempting some words of comfort after hearing Natsuki stammer into herself into dejection. I can't. The reading, I don't know if it's the worst or what. Here, I'm gonna drink some more water. By the way, this is the same water bottle that I had since the start. It is so low. Seemingly in response, Natsuki approaches the base of the staircase and hesitantly sits herself down near Yuri. Well, I can leave if you want. Yuri shakes her head. Natsuki twists the cap of her drink and takes a sip. Despite receiving Yuri's general permission, Natsuki doesn't say anything more. Yuri continues to read, or at least pretends to. That didn't go so well, and the two just sit there for a long time. The tension seems to fade as a little bit of time passes. Even without words, this seems to mean at least something, though it's not clear what that may be. Time turns more quickly than I expected. Natsuki is the first to stand up with her empty drink bottle. Are you coming today? To the club. Yuri nods. I'm sorry for being so awkward. I'm really bad at talking about this stuff. I just can't, for some reason. I don't know why. But I want to, eventually. There's no rush. I promise. Thanks. Alright, they're getting some general respect. It's the next day. Yuri is still at the, she's still at the staircase. Wait, but what did they do at the meeting? Okay. Natsuki appears from around the corner and steps up to the vending machine, glancing at Yuri as she does so. Today she seems to be holding some kind of book as well. Oh, you're here again. Well, I just came here to read this, because there aren't any people around here. Oh? I thought you didn't like how quiet it was. Well, I don't, but there's no people here. I see. Natsuki sits down. The mood feels much different than it did yesterday. After yesterday's lunch and the club meeting that followed, Natsuki and Yuri are beginning to feel more relaxed around each other again. Although Yuri's letter is still lingering in the back of Natsuki's mind, she continues to detour around it. But is it okay that I'm here? Yeah, I don't care. I honestly just don't like dealing with the stuff I get from my friends about it. Especially since they all assumed I just stopped reading manga after I joined the literature club. Not that I'm trying to hide it from them exactly. I just don't want it to come up now, after I've waited so long for this new volume to come out. Literally months at this point. You don't have other friends who are in manga? Not unless online friends count. It's Yuri, but that's because she's not exactly into it, she just likes it, you know what I mean? Honestly, you're lucky that the books you're into at least just look like books, so you don't have to feel like everyone's constantly judging you at what you're reading. That would be so awful. Especially since I already hate attention so much. Well, it's a good thing I have thick skin then. By the way, I would totally recommend finding some friends online if you haven't already. If you're like me, and you have no one to share your hobbies with. Oh, I have online friends. Since middle school, actually. I was especially desperate back then. It's somewhat embarrassing to reminisce about those days. Sometimes I feel like that the me from a few years ago would have benefited from a good smack across the face. Oh, whatever. We were just stupid kids back then anyway. So some of the fanfics I wrote, thank God I used a pseudonym. But I liked it at the time. I got a lot of fulfillment out of it. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence that I've become a better person since then. Yeah, that's always the comeback, you know? When you cringe about something really, a while ago, I don't know, for me, as long as it's not, like, your last experience with the person, like, I don't know, they died 2 days later or you just never saw them again. As long as it's not your last, you don't need to cringe, because it doesn't have any effect now. You're a better person, you have grown, but still, I cringed. I just tried to comfort myself with that, but you know, it doesn't work. And plus, I can look back and say with confidence, I'm a better person then. So I don't think it would change anything. I wonder if a few years from now, we'll think about the same thing about our current selves. Heh, probably. That doesn't make you uncomfortable? No, of course not. I don't care what other people think of me, especially someone who doesn't even exist yet. Alright, here. Mitsuki raises her hand to her face and forcefully slaps her own cheek. As for me, from the future, coming to terms with me right now. Also, ow, I didn't mean to do it that hard. Yuri doesn't seem to react. Well then, to Natsuki's surprise, oh my gosh, Yuri shyly looks the other way before lifting her arm and doing the same thing to herself, loudly smacking her cheek. She turns red and stares into her lap, but is unable to hide a smile, as though it were a really funny joke. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't know you had it in you. I don't know why I even did that. Maybe I thought it'd be funny. Sorry, I keep distracting you. You said you were looking forward to reading, but I keep going on about all this nonsense. I'll let you get to your reading. Oh, right. Yeah, I guess I'll do that then. The conversation ends quickly and Natsuki opens her book. The two read silently for the remainder of the lunch hour. For the whole time, Yuri feels distracted by the twisted regret over having so abruptly forced the end in the conversation. You're back. Yeah, I'm here to lay low again. Another day passed. During lunchtime, Natsuki finds herself having wandered to the stairwell once more. Hey, did you buy that? Natsuki quickly notices a bottle of iced tea on the staircase where she normally sits. Yuri nods, avoiding eye contact. What, like for me? Well, you didn't know I was coming here today. What if I didn't show up? Well, I would have drank it myself, I guess. It was a stupid thing to do. No, it wasn't stupid. I just thought, never mind. What I meant to say is thank you. And that is a really nice gesture. It's okay if you don't feel that way. I do. It was the other things that I didn't mean. I swear, please believe me. Yuri pauses and nods. Talking is hard. I get it wrong a lot too. So I believe you. Natsuki exhales in relief. She then sits down next to Yuri and takes a drink. Knowing Yuri, she was probably overthinking it so much that Natsuki's tepid response filled her with self-doubt. I'll do something nice for you next time. Please don't feel obligated. I want to. I want to do nice things too. Okay. Thank you. You can thank me after I figure out how to do something nice. I'll do it then too. Natsuki sighs. Nothing. It just reminds me of how I haven't gotten along with my friends lately. Is that why you've been coming here? Well, no, not exactly. I haven't been avoiding them on purpose or anything. There are just other things I'd rather be doing than during lunch lately. I like being around them when we're just having fun, but they also just can't take anything seriously. So when I'm, feeling serious, then their attitudes just really get on my nerves. It's only gotten worse since I joined the Lecture Club. How come? I don't know. I feel like I used to be really good with just putting up with it. I feel like I just used to be really good putting up with it. Because I feel so stupid to cause drama over a joke that I didn't like or something. But I just have a hard time doing that lately. That's my fault for being overly sensitive. If I have a problem, I'm not going to demand for everyone around me to change. But, yeah, I know. Monica and Sayori don't really agree with this kind of thing. But they're not in my position, so it's easy for them to say that you should just communicate your feelings or whatever. It's not like my friend group does that kind of thing. I would just be making an embarrassment of myself. Sorry, none of this has anything to do with you. I don't know why I'm talking to you about it. It's okay. I like listening. What, listening to other people's problems? Yes. that's weird. Sorry. I just like learning about people. Do you think it's weird? No, that's not weird. I probably just misunderstood, so... I don't know. Does that mean I should keep going? If you like. Okay. Well, I don't know what to talk about now. What are some things you like about your friends? A lot of things. I mean, they're really fun to hang out with, like after school and on weekends. And they really like my baking. And it's fun to complain about school together. They make me laugh a lot, and you have a lot of good memories and inside jokes. Oh. I'm bad at a lot of those things. So? Are those all things that are important to you? Well, kind of, but they're not things that I need to get out of everybody. Everyone in the club is different from that, but we're still friends with them too. Also, Yari really likes her baking, and she makes you laugh, and she complains a lot. That doesn't mean she's anything like my other friends. Well, unlike them, she's a nice person who cares about your feelings. Whoa! Excuse me? How about you don't talk about my friends that you don't know anything about? Yeah. Natsuki stands up. No, wait. And, like, I know that isn't really a good thing for her to say, but she was just trying to be on Natsuki's side. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I didn't want to say something bad. Please don't leave. Natsuki sighs and shakes her head. It's fine. As long as you understand, you can't judge people like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I kind of understand, like, if someone's just telling you, about another person, you can't take everything that they say, as fact. Like, they might just be pointing out the bad things, they might be over-exaggerating, they might just be saying, like, one perspective. So I don't think you can just call someone bad because of that, because you don't know what's up with them. Natsuki sits back down. You can't just compare friends like that and, like, measure who's better and who. Everyone's different. I'm sorry. I just don't like people who want to hurt you. A moment of silence stretches between them. You don't want to hurt me. We just like to tease each other about stupid things. It's fun. I don't like that. Well, that's why I'm friends with them and you're not. You like it? Just don't worry so much about me. It's not worth it. I'm sorry. I wish I knew how to help with social conflicts, like how Monica can. She's good at these things. Not really. Also, I don't always want help. Sometimes it's just stuff I have to deal with myself. That's what Monica and Sayori never seem to understand. Sometimes all you do is look at them wrong and they're like, oh, what's wrong? Is everyone okay? Everything okay? I just want to mind my own business sometimes and decide myself if I want to talk about things. The only one who understands it that is you. So you really shouldn't be so hard on yourself. You're not as bad as you think. Oh, you don't need to reassure me or anything. I mean that. Plus, it makes sense that someone who doesn't talk a lot would make a good listener. Thank you. You're also nice. It's really hard for me. It doesn't come naturally at all. It's so weird because I always thought of myself as someone who can just say whatever's on my mind. But I feel like that only works when I'm annoyed or upset or want to say something mean. Why am I like that? I don't know. I just had a thought. Okay. I don't know if I should say it. You don't have to answer that. I'm just talking to myself. Yuri nods and remains silent. Natsuki notices her fidgeting with the pages of her books. How come you like reading so much? Oh, well, a lot of reasons. But I just get sucked into it so easily. It's so immersive, like I want to be a part of it. I think there are a lot of gonna die. Okay, there are a lot of things about people in real life that make me feel uncomfortable and frustrated, especially when it comes to following social conventions and group interactions. I just don't really understand it, and I have no real desire to participate. But it's different with books. I feel like I always want to be around the characters, feel a strong emotional connection with them in ways I've never felt with real people. So, in that way, it can sometimes feel more real than real life. Really? Is it that hard for you to be around people, like, all the time? Fairly often, especially in group settings. When people are making all kinds of conversation, saying jokes, and all that, I don't know what to do, and I just disengage. Oh. It doesn't get lonely? I don't think so. I can still enjoy spending time with people one-on-one, and I have online friends too, of course. Do you ever wish you could be friends with the characters in your books? All the time. Sometimes so badly it makes my heart ache. Yeah, me too. Really? A lot. Like, more than anything. After Natsuki mutters that, silence fills the stairwell once more. But it's a mutual silence. One full of understanding. This stuff's interesting. And... Wait, do you got any... Okay, nothing new. Oh yeah, it's really hot in here, but I don't want to take off the sweater. Because why would I do that? Yeah, like, I'm fine with doing that, because that was shorter than I expected. Alright. Yeah, and they're back at the machine. Oh, well, it's probably a different day. Hey. Oh, hello. I almost thought you weren't coming today. Yeah, well, lunch is already more than halfway over. Natsuki had typically been meeting Yuri at the stairwell much earlier, since it was a good way of dodging her friends when she didn't feel like seeing them. Today, she's holding a large plastic container in both hands. She did it. I ran into my friends, so I hung out with them for a while. Is that so? Yeah. I was in a good mood today, so I figured I should, and I hadn't seen them in a while, which I had to come up with an excuse for, but I expected that. Plus, I have way more of these than I know what to do with, so I figured I'd share them too. As she sits down, she opens the lid of the container. You made cupcakes. You nail it. It's been a while at this point, so I figured it was about time again. I'm gonna die. You can take one if you want. Yuri takes the cupcake and carefully twirls it between her fingers. It's brown, with dark green frosting, immaculately shaped into a floral pattern, and topped with some kind of glittery... I can't talk. Like, if I just read it, I would be like, yeah, that's fine. But I can't say it. Okay. And also, didn't Natsuki guess that she likes, like, ice cream? Or something like that. I don't know. Or green tea ice cream. How pretty. I just ate, so I may not be able to finish it. Are these for the club? Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really think about that. I just made them. Ah, I thought because green is Monica's favorite color, right? Well, yeah, but that's not really... Yuri takes a small bite. This is green tea flavored, yes! Alright, this is why you need the memory, the strats. This is how you defeat the girls. This is how you do it. I love green tea. Oh, do you? It was just a random idea I wanted to try, so... Don't laugh at me. I'm not. I just felt happy. Oh, sorry. Usually never mind. What I mean is that I'm glad. Sorry for saying dumb things again. I just wanted to do something nice. And this is something I happen to be good at. And I do know you like them, from past experience. Yuri turns red, recalling the time she treated herself to a rather generously to Natsuki's cupcakes. Ironically, her mouth is too full of cupcake for her to stammer an excuse, so she just settles for a disapproving look. How did you get into baking? Oh, well, I don't know, it kinda just always appealed to me. Well, a few years ago, I read this one manga with a lot of baking, so I got super into it for a while. I was probably making stuff almost every day. Or something that I always knew I liked anyway. It's like, baking is like art. but when you get good at it, it gets more delicious too. I'm struggling to imagine myself putting heart into something so artistic, knowing that it would just be eaten afterwards. Heh, yeah, maybe you're too practical for it. I think I prefer to be on the receiving end. That's my other favorite part about it. It's something I can do that makes a lot of people happy, like unconditionally. Everyone's always so thankful in that moment, and you get to be the bringer of joy. I don't know, it just makes you feel valued? Yeah, I guess that. So you were able to make up with your friends today? There wasn't really anything to make up with them about. We weren't fighting or anything. You weren't? Maybe I misunderstood. It only turns into a fight if I lose my cool. And that's just unnecessary drama. It only makes things worse. So, they're not going to stop? I mean, it only happens sometimes anyway. It's just the way they are. I'm the only one who ever has a problem with it. It's not worth it. Especially since I have somewhere to go now when I don't feel like hanging out with them. Oh, I see. The cupcake's empty foil wrapper audibly crinkles as Yuri clenches a fist. I'm glad the situation was resolved. And that you don't have to avoid them anymore. Yeah, me too. And I don't have to bother you during your alone time anymore. I'm sure you have a lot of reading to catch up on. Yeah. I know that the cupcakes are basically nothing compared to all the stuff that you've done for me. But it's the best I can do. So you can have the rest of them. Natsuki grabs the box and slides it over to Yuri's feet. Yuri stares at the box. Then she shakes her head and slides them back. You should save them for your other friends. But I made them for you. Natsuki's voice whines as she protests. I know, and I like them very much, exactly as you thought. You succeeded. But I know you care about making your other friends happy too. And if this is the way you know how to make that happen, then I'm not going to take it from you. No, they were for making you happy. You make me happy. You're worth more than cupcakes to some people. That's why they want to spend time with you. And be your friend. With that warning, tears pour from Natsuki's eyes. She pulls her knees to her chest and starts sobbing into her arms. Natsuki! I'm such a bad person. Yuri stammers, feeling panicked. I didn't mean to say something bad. Natsuki shakes her head and wipes her eyes. You didn't. Natsuki tries to choke back her sobs, but struggles to speak through them. I just really hate myself sometimes. And it feels so wrong when you say these nice things to me. And it feels so wrong when I take another sip of water, because oh my gosh. Like I don't deserve it. I'm sorry. No, I am. I'm so difficult. And I can't think of even a single thing about myself that somebody would like. And I hated myself for bothering you during lunch. I just thought it was my chance to be a good person. Like to be nice and do all the things you wrote about in that letter. I knew if I tried to club, Sayori and Monica would be super annoying and make a huge deal out of it. You know, I think those are negative things too about myself. Wait, can I reread that? I want to get everything. I think a lot of those negative things too about myself. I never felt like a good person. I always scrutinize everything I say, and later I feel like I said all the wrong things. And I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. And I just spend so much time thinking about myself, hating myself, and feeling like everyone else must hate me too. So, I understand some of that through my own experience. And that's why I wanted to write the letter and express my feelings. It pained me to see the things in someone else that I saw myself. Oh my gosh, I actually can relate to this. I don't know. Wait, I don't know if... Okay, yeah, they probably wouldn't know. There's no way anyone would watch this far, no matter how close they are to me. But, like, I had a friend. Alright, I had. No, I still have them. And, like, I saw myself a lot of them, and a lot of the struggles they were going through, I had previously gone through. Not even like, oh, years ago, I was once like you, but just like a few days ago, but I got over it. But I sucked at helping them, and like, I tried to do what I could, but my coping mechanisms were unhealthy and not good for them, so I didn't know what to do. And like, I didn't want to give my, like, what I did, because usually the response for me is just suck it up and move on. And I couldn't do more to make them feel secure with the situation or anything like that. Does it make sense? I don't know why, but I'm just suddenly feeling like this. Like, every time they struggle, I've been like, yeah, I struggled there before. I've been with you, but I don't know what to say. I wanted to tell them so darn bad this year that, like, every moment that you have struggled on, I have too. I want to say something else, but I know it's gonna be awkward. Whatever, I gotta say it. Alright, it was gonna be every moment you cried on, I also cried on, and I didn't say it ever. I hate it. But like, I don't know. I'm just realizing it now. It pained me to see those things in someone else that I saw in myself. Natsuki sniffles. Yuri rustles through her bag and pulls out some tissues and hands them to Natsuki. Monica told me that it takes a good person to reflect on these things. The desire to improve yourself. That makes you a good person, so don't worry too much. Also, there are things about you that people don't like, so... Like what? Like how you're fun for people to be around. And you're not shy. You know how to make people laugh. You're very passionate about things. And you know how to take the lead. And you care a lot about other people. And just a lot of things. Oh. Well, now you're making me feel really embarrassed. Well, you're the one who asked. And don't you think I feel embarrassed? Natsuki tries to hide a smile, but she sighs as it fades again. Every time I come here, I always think it's the last time, but I keep coming back for some reason. Is that bad? Just really confusing. I mean, my friends and I go way back, so judging them all the time feels like, I don't know. Feels like what? Natsuki's voice gets quiet. Maybe I'm scared they'll get mad at me. I really don't know what to do. She pauses. Yuri stares into the distance, tracing her eyes along the patterns of the floor tiles while she thinks to herself. What would you do, hypothetically, if your friends were happy for you instead of mad at you? Happy for what? Happy that your new club is making you happy. Well, that's just not a fair hypothetical. Natsuki says that, but with little confidence in her voice. I always told myself that I don't rely on the approval of others to be happy. And I still feel that way, but spending time with people who put me down whenever they don't have their approval, that's probably what's making me feel so confused. Because wait, can I read that again? I just want to see if I got that right. I'm spending time with people who put me down whenever when I don't have their approval. Because I'm threatened out of the things that should make me happy. So no matter what, it's like I have to be unhappy to be happy. It's making my head hurt. That must make it really difficult for you to feel comfortable with yourself. Being made to feel like you're wrong just for being the person you are. It really goes against everything I believe in, doesn't it? It goes against the kind of person I want to be. I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with a lot of things. Natsuki presses her palms into her forehead and then shakes her head. I know what's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something scary. To do what? You know, to end it. I say that again? I know it's best for me, but I keep convincing myself out of it. It's so much easier to be comfortably unhappy than it is to do something so scary. With them? Natsuki nods. I didn't think you were actively considering that as an option. I wasn't until recently. It's just one of those things where it's been a certain way for so long that you just get used to it. Like, so much of you has gone into it. So much that it feels like that's just how your life is. And throwing it away is like throwing away such a big part of your life. It makes me feel sick to think about. Natsuki sighs. It's just really scary. It's terrifying. What are you scared of? I don't know. A lot of things. Like being alone, not having anyone to talk or hang out with, not being able to replace what I have with them, and I don't want them to hate me. I'm scared they'll hurt me for going against them. Physically? Not physically, but... Yuri clenches her fists. Natsuki? What? If anyone even thinks to cause you harm, I will unleash I will unleash something very dastardly upon them. Natsuki snorts in laughter. Don't laugh at me. Sorry, I like that. That's all. Oh. Well, I meant it. I know you did. Natsuki gives Yuri an endearing look. I needed it. As the conversation lapses, Natsuki slides her box of cupcakes over to Yuri. Just take them, okay? I don't want other people to have them anymore. Are you sure? Natsuki nods. I'm sure. I will then. I'll enjoy them. Natsuki looks away, but a feeling of warmth spreads through her. She holds on to that feeling, knowing it'll give her courage. Ah, you're first here today. I'll use the club song. And you brought reading material. Natsuki is sitting in her usual spot, this time holding a volume of manga while her lunch sits beside her. Yuri sits down as well and opens her book. It sucks when a good series has to come to an end. It's like such a big part of your life, and then one day there's just nothing left. It makes me feel so empty. Unfortunately, I'm about to experience that myself. I'm on the last book of this series. That sucks. But there's also something satisfying about letting a story conclude. I don't know if I'd want it to go forever. Maybe. But there's some things that I wish could. On the other hand, have you ever read something that overstayed its welcome? Yeah, definitely. I can think of at least one thing that I read that got pretty unbearable like halfway through, and the ending really sucked. So it sucks when something good has to end, but it also sucks when they keep inventing more plot until you don't like it anymore. I guess it sucks either way. Well, that's the nature of all things. They come to an end. The two fall silent. They slowly eat while making their way through their respective reading material. Except Natsuki doesn't seem to be touching her food at all. You don't go out during the weekends, right? Excuse me? Like with friends at the mall or downtown or whatever? I'm not a total shut-in, you know. Oh, my bad for making assumptions. Well, I'm sure I go out less with other people like you and others in the club. I don't really meet friends and arbitrarily spend time like that. I'm usually meeting with my board game group. Board game? What, you're playing D&D? Board game group? It doesn't matter. It's just more nerdy stuff. Why do you ask anyway? I was just curious. I realized that I couldn't picture it, so I was just curious. Yuri looks at Natsuki and realizes that she's shaking. Don't look at me like that. Sorry. Natsuki pulls her knees into her chest and puts her head down. I can't take this. Did I do something? Yuri gets flustered, her mind racing over what she might have said or done. I did. I ended it. I texted them earlier telling them, and And then I just blocked them. I was so afraid of her response. And now it feels like I'm dying inside. Yeah, I had a feeling something was wrong. She was kind of just being, like, dismissive when she came in. Yeah. Oh, that's... I'm sorry. Totally unsure of what to do, Yuri can barely find any words of support to offer. Meanwhile, the sound of Natsuki's unusually hard breathing fills the air. Then she speaks again, barely above a whisper. Help me. I feel sick, and I want to hit my head against things. Please help. I can't take this. You may be having a panic attack. With that realization, Yuri's demeanor suddenly changes. What the heck? This is gonna be a really nice one. Well, it's always sad, but like, what the heck? I have experience with this, so I'll help you through it, okay? Natsuki meekly nods through a rapid breath, head still buried in her knees. Here, wait, I hope I wasn't blowing into the mic the whole time, but I feel like I had it right. Yuri slides herself over to Natsuki and sits on the step behind her. She then puts her hands on Natsuki's shoulders. Can you feel my hands? Natsuki nods. Her shaking becomes much more apparent, though, through Yuri's sense of touch. Yuri keeps her voice low and gentle. You're safe right now. You're in a good place and safe. You're in a good and safe place where nothing can hurt you. Natsuki nods once more. Although Yuri is only touching Natsuki's shoulders, she can practically feel her racing pulse through the base of her neck. We'll do a breathing exercise together. All you have to do is listen to my breaths and breathe along with me. Let's breathe in now. Yuri takes a deep, slow breath. You know, it may as well go along with it. Beneath her hands, she can feel Natsuki's shoulders rise as Natsuki takes a breath of her own, trying to mimic Yuri. They exhale together, although Natsuki's shoulders shakes on the way out. That's good. Let's keep going. Yuri breathes in once more, and Natsuki joins her. They continue like that for a few more cycles, while Yuri closely monitors. Wait, okay, I feel like I'm being too quiet or something. Oh man, I'm gonna take another sip. I don't know how I have it run out. There's like so little left. Eventually, Yuri feels Natsuki rest more of her weight onto Yuri's palms. Let's focus on the physical world. All you have to do is focus on the feeling of your breaths going in and out, and the weight of my hands on your shoulders. You're in a safe place, in a comfortable physical space. Minutes pass in silence. By now, the worst of it has happened, but Yuri's determined not to move away until Natsuki prompts her to. Meanwhile, Natsuki has lifted her head off her knees, and her breathing is mostly steady. Then she takes a final deep breath and slowly pulls herself to her feet, causing Yuri to let go. She stretches her arms. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to freak out. I don't know what my deal is. You don't have to apologize. This must have been enormously stressful for you. Is that going to keep happening? It may or may not. We can take measures to help prevent it in the future, but I think it will naturally get better over time. Natsuki motions to sit down again, so Yuri moves over. Yuri turns away to pick up her open book from the dusty floor, which she had hastily set down earlier. When she brushes the dust off the cover, I don't think I could have gotten through that alone. You're not alone. Feeling shy again, Yuri speaks into her own lap. From now on, you don't have to do anything alone. As she says that, Yuri tenses up. It's rare for her to openly share her thoughts, but something about Natsuki, of all people, makes it feel so much more natural to do. Perhaps maybe, like Yuri, Natsuki is so timid and uncertain of herself. Natsuki does a good job of hiding it, that it's taken a long time for Yuri to finally realize it. And because of that, Yuri is able to deliver the reassurance that she herself would have wanted, demonstrating that you deserve the love of others. If you can accept that for the first time, then perhaps you can begin the tumultuous journey of learning to love yourself. Do you really mean that? You're probably gonna regret saying that if you do. How so? Because I'm probably gonna have a lot of free time during weekends from now on. So you're giving me permission to be as annoying as I want and drag you around to a lot of places. I see. But you already said it, so you can't take it back now. Huh. Well, I suppose I have no choice but to accept that responsibility then. I know a good ice cream place. Oh? That means you'll finally figure out which my favorite ice cream flavor. Huh? Was she wrong? What are you talking about? Oh, you don't remember? The first day you came to the club, you guessed everyone's favorite ice cream flavor. But for me, you said you had no idea. Seriously? I don't remember that at all. Oh wait, yes I do. I said it was probably green tea. Yuri shakes her head. It's a good guess. My favorite is usually to get chocolate and raspberry together. Chocolate and raspberry? How fancy. How's that fancy? Oh, I don't know. I just feel like I should have guessed something like that. Well, maybe next time I'll try chocolate and strawberry. Hey, strawberry's my favorite. What a coincidence. I think it helps to have something to look forward to. I still have a sick feeling in my stomach. But it's easier now to convince myself that I did the right thing. Is there anything better I could be doing? Not that I know of. Oh wait, sorry, I think I read it wrong. Yeah. Is there anything better I could be doing? Not that I know of. There's nothing that'll make this easy for me. And you already did more than I thought anyone could. Come to think of it, we never talked about the letter you wrote. But I feel like we're way past that at this point. I don't even know what to talk about. Except that I think it helped me understand my needs a little better. The way I like to be treated. And the kind of friends I want to have. That's why I started coming here in the first place. Even though I was so scared of causing more problems. I thought it was a coincidence that you ran into me here initially. Oh, well, not exactly. What do you mean? Nothing. I may have tracked you down first, with the help of Sayori. But you said, I was shy, okay? I wasn't ready to, whatever, you know what I'm saying. Well, I guess I'm glad you worked up that courage. Even if it was in your own way. I can tell you that you've been making a lot of difficult decisions, and it's brave, and it will make things better in the long run. I think anyone would be proud of you for it. Anyone? You mean like you? Yes, like me. You know, I can get used to this. As long as you don't tease me too much. Fine. Just a little then. That's fine. I know how uncertain everything feels to you right now. But I really do think that good things are in store. Those are my honest feelings. Thanks. It feels nice to be reassured. The two girls continue their conversation through the remainder of lunch, but a new feeling hangs in the air. A feeling of greater certainty in their path forward. In just a few hours, there will be another literature club meeting, where the four members will happily spend time together. Each of them all, with their own special qualities, have something unique that they can deliver to one another. Through friendship and literature, the club members will continue to grow and find new happiness together. The end of the chapter is the start of the next. Yuri thinks to herself. Since she's about to finish her long-running series, it would have been best to have a new book lined up. Perhaps this weekend would be a good time to visit the bookstore. Together. Yo! We did it! I have time, I don't care, we're doing it. Equals! We're going to equals! Did I unlock a picture? I don't even know, but it's happening. Okay, everyone. We're going to be taking a break from the usual activities today. I was thinking, since people are starting to talk about the festival... Wait. Huh? Okay, maybe this is... I just feel like they went through the course of the game without the main character. And they were saying something about alternate universes or something like that, or how, like, the anomaly that the protagonist was. He has no distinct characteristics, wasn't there? Ooh, something like that. So maybe this is what's happening. I don't know. I was thinking, since people are starting to talk about the festivals, it's good for us to go over the general direction of the club and all that. I think it'll help us figure out what to do for the festival, you know? Oh, so Yuri and I already came up with a good plan. Really? For the festival? Yeah, so this is the plan, okay? You and Yuri collect information ahead of time on which classes and... I'm gonna die. On which clubs and classes are doing food boots. Then we take a map and plan the most efficient route so we can get the most out of them before the lines take too long. Hey, that has nothing to do with the club. Well, you have to let me finish. Alright, fine. Go ahead. Right, so basically we get all the food we can, then we come back here, and we all eat together. That's all. Wow, I got tricked twice by the same joke. Boo, don't be a hater. It's not like you can come up with anything better. Look, even Yuri was thinking about it. No, I wasn't. I would really prefer to do something that was literature related. We can do it. We can eat together anytime. The festival is a unique opportunity. Besides, it's been quite a while since I've seen any new interest in the club. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We really get a shot at showing people what the literature club is all about. I'll tell you what, we can do both, right? We can make time for your food mission and still put it together at a public event. Oh my gosh, yes! I was just joking, but this is a really good idea. Well, I'm glad it's settled. I think the question is how to come up with an event that demonstrates everything you can get out of the literature club. Well, this is kind of tough, because everyone gets something different out of the club. Okay, how about this? I think I was reading the wrong list, but it doesn't matter. Let's go around and have each of us talk about what we've gotten from the club so far. That could help us really figure out what kind of reputation we want to build. Yeah, that's so embarrassing. Oh, you have so much to talk about. That's exactly why. And I'm sure Natsuki feels the same way. Well, maybe, but I didn't plan on arguing against it or anything. I mean, it's the literature club. We talk about that stuff together, right? And the only way to get more comfortable with it is to suck up and do it. Oh, you're not wrong. I'm sorry for being resistant. It's not good to say suck it up because it sounds like your feelings don't matter. Right, my bad. It's just a habit I need to break. Well, anyway, who's gonna start? I'll start. I was the first to join, after all. Heh, wouldn't that be me? No, I want to go first. Fine, you can start. I don't mind. Yay! So, gosh, it feels like so long ago. I think I joined because I wanted to have fun sharing poems with other people. It seemed like it would be a safe way to express myself, you know. If it's just a poem, then I can share it without feeling like I'm burdening everyone with my problems. And I thought it would be a really good way to show. I thought it would be really good to get to know other people too. So yeah, I was really surprised when I walked in and it was just Monica. I'm gonna drink a sip. Oh my gosh, I have the amount that I have left is so sad. Alright, the supply was just set in half. Okay. And she's sleeping. Don't remind me of that. see it help other people too. And it ended up being me who was inspired, because I remember feeling like Monica was so sweet and mature, and I could trust her with anything. It made me feel a lot less alone, having someone who knew even bad things about me. And at that point, I knew the literature club was going to be special for a lot of people. Yeah, I felt the same way. It really helped give the club a more cohesive vision. Yeah, and then Yuri joined. She was so different from us, and Natsuki too. I think for Yuri, it really helped me take the lead because she was able to open up a little. But Natsuki was kind of the opposite. When she wasn't ready to get really close to someone really quickly, I never really thought about this sort of thing. Wait, did I even read that? I think I read that one very wrong. Natsuki was kind of the opposite, where she wasn't ready to get really close to someone really quickly. I never really thought about that sort of thing. I really feel like I've gotten better at understanding other people's needs. And that makes me really happy, because my friends are just the most important thing to me. And whatever new members we get, I want to help them in those ways too. I don't know if I could have continued coming to the club if it weren't for you. Really? I know it wasn't too long ago, but it hurts to think about my behavior back then. It was really short-sighted. The only reason I came was to find other people who were into fantasy. I suppose that was my idea of making friends with people. I remember feeling uncomfortable because you and I have such different energy. I had such a specific idea of the kind of person I could be friends with. So when Sayori tried so hard to get to know me, I feel like I was just wasting the time. I think I was naive to assume that similar interests were a key component to friendship. Sayori and I were able to be friends because she's always thinking of the needs of other people. That's something I never know how to do, or even thought to do. But I stayed in the club, and thanks to that, I started trying as hard as I could to understand people better. It really went above and beyond. Okay, you really went above and beyond when it came to that. I was just super impressed. Well, I always hated that I didn't know how to behave like a person who's easily liked by others, like the two of you can. Because of that, I spent so much time thinking about my own behavior and all the wrong things I said. And the whole time, I should have been thinking about other people instead, not myself. Once I started doing that, I was able to make friends with everyone else. Oh, also, I discovered that sometimes I'm a better communicator when I take the time to write rather than speak. It's so strange the way things turned out. It's far from anything I ever would have expected. But I'm happy. I suppose we don't always know what we really need. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. I'm gonna throw up. Okay, please don't do that, Sayori, because I'm not cute. Hey, isn't that my line? Oh, well, for me it's actually true. So, what are you saying? Nothing. I finished my part, so someone else needs to take a turn. My heart. Sayori takes some deep breaths. Okay, fine. I'll go. Yuri, I can't believe you're complaining about doing this and you still went before me. What a show-off. I was just following up on Sayori. It was the easiest way to get her over with. Besides, you left out the most important stuff that you got out of this club. I did? Yeah, a regular supply of your favorite cupcakes. Oh no, I forgot that too. I'm a traitor to the cupcake queen. Neither of you are forgiven. Looks like only Monica will be getting cupcakes next time. No! I can't eat that many cupcakes. Yeah, true. Only Yuri can. Hey, well, anyway, I'm just putting off talking. It's kind of hard to talk about all this stuff. But I guess what it comes down to is, I'm in a much better place mentally than I was when I first joined. That's because no one helped me realize I had some really toxic friendships going on outside the club. It was honestly a really painful thing to go through, having to cut them out. It still hurts to think about. I'm sorry, Natsuki. It's fine. I knew it was for the best, and I was right. I guess for me it's all about feelings. I was only ever ridiculed for having feelings, so I thought the right thing to do was just ignore them. It took me a really long time to realize that it's not really how things are supposed to work. And I guess it's that thanks to everyone who tried to respect our... And I guess that's thanks to everyone who took the time to respect my feelings, even when I was being like the biggest jerk. I'm really sorry for being a jerk to everyone. I was really the worst. Natsuki's voice chokes a little. We love you, Natsuki. I just hate that I was like that. Hey, but you were saying earlier you've grown as a person. everyone did so much for me, and I could never do anything in return. That's not true. Itsuki, you've done a lot more than you think. This club really wouldn't have been the same without you. I mean that. Remember how judgmental I was when you first showed up? It was like I couldn't accept anything other than the own idea of what the literature club was supposed to be, and here it transitions to Monica. Apparently, that was more important to me than the opportunity to bring you some happiness. You really taught me that anything that makes someone happy is worthy of respect. You even inspired me to start playing piano. That's something that means a whole lot to me. So there's no need to put yourself down. Okay. Mitsuki wipes her eyes. You help me a lot too. It's so much fun to have you around, and you help me become a better person. Having a problem doesn't make you needy or inconvenient. I mean, that there's someone that needs to be better for you. I mean that there's something that needs to be better for you, and you always deserve that. I agree. Seeing us have some of the same struggles made me a better person as well. I wouldn't want to change anything about our time here. I don't think any of us would. I'm sorry, I got all dramatic again. That's all I wanted to say, so Monica can go now. There's no need to apologize. It was something I wanted to talk about anyway, because it made a big difference for me. I was always a strict perfectionist who never took any time to believe in the best of other people. But everyone kept proving me wrong, and I made the mistake multiple times, thinking that my way was the best for everyone, or thinking that I was needed to solve the others' problems. But I think being a leader means that you have to acknowledge that you're not perfect, and the best thing you can do is to help and guide people, rather than not do everything for them. We're all good people. We're all equals. I think that's the most important thing I've gotten out of this club, realizing what that really means. Sayori, what are you doing? I just thought I should be writing some of these things down. Things about the club that are valuable to us. With a piece of chalk in her hand, Sayori writes the word trust on. Yeah, she's gonna write all the story names on the chalkboard. This is because you showed me that I could trust you with everything about me, not just my good side. Suddenly, Yuri takes a piece of chalk as well. She writes understanding. I owe a lot of gratitude for everyone who took the time to understand me, even though it's so difficult to express myself. In that case, Monica takes a piece of chalk as well. Respect. I always thought I was a respectable person, but it took the club for me to realize that there was more to it than I thought, and I'm a better person because of it. I have another one. Story writes balance. Sometimes people want. I'm gonna die. Sometimes people want different things out of friendship, or they need time before they're ready to come close. So it's important to keep things balanced between you and the other person. That reminds me. Yuri writes reflection. I've always been a reflective person, but most of it's been nothing more than hating myself for all the things I've thought I did wrong. Once I started reflecting on other people and not just myself, a lot of things changed for me. So I think that's the most important one for me. That's great, we have a whole list of things now. Suddenly, everyone turns to look at Natsuki. Do it. Well, everyone took all the chalk. Don't look at me like that, jeez. You can always just ask. Monica hands a piece of chalk to Natsuki, and Natsuki writes self-love. I don't know how far I've gotten with it yet, but it feels like things are at least on the right track. So there, that's my contribution. Together, everyone stares at the words on the board. Wasn't this club supposed to be about literature? It is. We still do a lot of literature. Friendship and literature. Yeah, you're right. Friendship and literature. Natsuki and Yuri gently nod as well. Hey, let's all take a picture together. Yo! We don't have one yet, right? Hey, you're right. Make sure you send it to me after. Wait, can I brush my hair or something first? Oh, you're fine. You already have the best hair out of all of us. Everyone to get together. I can't fit you all in. Okay. Okay, everyone ready? And click. I'm really glad we talked about this stuff. It's easy to forget how far we've come with only 4 members. Yeah, I have so many happy thoughts right now. I'm getting some really good inspiration for a poem. You know, I feel the same way. I kind of want to get some writing down. Me too. I think I would like that as well. Everyone's looking at me again. I'll do it too, but I might not feel like sharing it. That's okay. The four members of the Literature Club disperse and return to their desks, each equipping themselves with a pen. Nasuki and Yuri give each other a quick glance, then start writing immediately. Zoe stretches and then does the same. But Monica is left tapping her pen against the paper, unsure of where to start. Just move your hand. Monica mouths to herself. Right the way into your heart. Her mind full of thoughts, memories, and inspiration, Monica navigates past her mental barriers and begins to write. It doesn't matter what, just that it's something new. What? Yo! I'm raising the volume a little. Okay, hopefully that translates over to you. Takes a lot of development. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Squidron and the Disky, for all this cool CGs. Thank you for the programming, Joseph, Robert, Dan Salado, thank you for the music, Nikki, thank you for the music, Yes Music, Daisy, and Zuri, I don't know what. Alicia, thank you for being creative director. Art consultant, Stephen Love, great name. Oh, Joseph Boyd, I think. Serenity Forge. I think that's just Serenity Forge, but I don't know. Okay, now I'm just looking at the picture. Whatever. This is great. Graphic designers. That's a lot of designers. Actually, never. I shouldn't say that. I was about to say something, but I don't know if they'd be okay with me saying it. I don't know. Whoa, you got good walls in there. Man, music room. Whoa, that localization. Portuguese, how... Okay, maybe they just had a really long name, but like, oh my gosh. Also, this is really smooth. This is nice. Thank you, your player, for enjoying the story of friendship and literature. Made with love by Team Salado. Serenity Forge. Dude. Yeah! No, wait. How much? That was so good. That was so good. Oh my gosh, Paula, what do you want? Simply put, it's not our job to arbitrarily decide upon some code of ethics just because we're the first ones to do this, to our knowledge. That's the government's job to figure out, long after we've made enough headway for it to no longer apply to us. It's fundamentally flawed to apply ethical reason to this anyway, because humanity's code of ethics is based upon nothing more than our knowledge and understanding of life forms and similar to ourselves. We don't have ethics for killing bacteria or plants, only for the creatures that we convincingly project our emotions onto. The humans in our VMs operate completely different from us on a fundamental level, and therefore should not be taken more seriously than a machine that is programmed to print "I feel sad." We're engineers, not philosophers. Paula, don't do that. Yeah, I want to see the picture. I want to see the picture. It's already 2 hours. Oh my gosh. I want to see this. We got all of them! Oh my gosh. Oh, wait, what? I haven't unlocked one of the poems. Huh. And we got all the cool CGs. Everyone say cheese, and there's one more? Okay, now everyone make a funny face. Okay. This is so good. I still need to look for like the secret poems and whatever. But, oh my god. Whoa! Artwork drawn by Satchley to celebrate Monica's birthday in 2019. Oh my gosh! Alright. Yeah, it went on longer than I thought it would be, but it was so good. Side stories are amazing. And like, I know I'll be exploring DDLC and trying to get 100%, get achievements and stuff on my own time, but I hope you can, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you buy it too, not just experience it for yourself and stuff, but also just support the developer, please. They're very cool. They made this one nightmarish Mario Maker level, I remember. It's a lot of P-blocks. But anyway, yeah. Um, oh, okay, so yeah, I gotta go soon. Well, not really, but I wanna go soon, because I wanna eat something. And, yeah. So, if you wanna go do some lore diving, you wanna support the developer, or whatever, you're gonna have to get the game for yourself, because I'm not gonna record anymore. Because I don't really know what else I would do. It would just be me looking through files randomly and silently. Like, oh, 5, 2, 4. Oh, nothing. Too bad. But yeah. So, yeah, I'll see you some other time. I don't know what I'm going to do for the thumbnail of this one. But yeah, have a good day and goodbye.